Hello everyone, in today's video, I'm going to share my personal experience of how I had my biggest career jump, which was pretty much from my first role in Schindler, Australia when I started off. So most of you know that I started my career with Schindler, Australia. As a 26-year-old graduate, I joined them as a graduate trainee. Now, when I joined them as a graduate trainee, I had just done prior to that odd jobs. I'd done about 1.5 years of call center job, a lot of side hustling. So there wasn't really a proper job. This was my proper first job. It was pretty much my second or third interview, I think, if I remember. And I got the job with Schindler. And I will talk about how I got my job in Schindler in another video. But today's video, I will focus on what are the things that I did in my first role that helped me jump from an executive to a general manager in 2 years' time, almost 2.5 years' time. It was the biggest career jump that I ever had. This was year 2006. In July, I joined Schindler as an executive trainee, graduate trainee, as a quality engineer. That was my main job. So my role was to, as a quality engineer, audit the compliance of the people to ISO process, number one. Number two is work on process improvement projects, what we also call as Kaizen in quality terminology, which is basically analyzing the business, understanding where are the issues and how do I work with the teams to solve those problems. This was my main role as a quality engineer. It was a very small department. Myself and my boss were the only two people. But it so happened that the quality team reported to the managing director. Well, the quality manager, which was my boss, reported to the managing director. He considered quality as a very, very important part of the business. He wanted to personally drive the quality side of the business, so he kept it within himself. And that later on became a blessing in disguise for me. So when I was told that my role was to be doing the quality audits and process improvement projects, the first step was, of course, for me to learn the job-specific knowledge, which is to understand the procedures and process. So the first step for you to really make a mark in your current role is to really master your current role well, which is what I did. Now, understanding the process and procedure, every time I used to go to my boss and ask her, where is this particular procedure? She would just point me back to go to the quality document. She would say, go back to the document, read the document. You'll find the answer there. So she never told me the answer. She always told me to look for the answer. And that was a very smart move, because when you are, for example, driven to a location by a driver, you never know the address. But if you are asked to go and search for the location, then you start looking at the map, you ask people, you stop, you find the way, but you know really next time how to go by yourself. That's what pretty much how I was pushed into learning a lot of the procedures which I was going to audit. Now, I also realized that it was impacting people's bonus. What was? The quality procedure. Audit result. So people had to comply, and if they don't comply, it impacts 20% of their annual bonus, which was money in the back pocket. Money. That's a problem. So people used to be always scared of me whenever I used to come for audit. Now I thought that I can convert it into a value adding thing if I develop a strong bond with them, and if I also can use the quality audit to help them enhance the compliance to procedures, which means I have to develop a strong relationship, convince them why they need to follow the procedure. And there are always people in any organization, they don't like paperwork, they don't like to follow procedures, they just like to get results. But they're really nice people, so for those people, I started helping them to clean up their documentation, develop their paperwork. This was like 1 or 2 months before the audit. Then I used to go and audit them. They used to, of course, pass. Now the first or second time, they were very happy about it, like somebody's helping them. But very soon, they've started feeling bad, like, why is this person doing my job? I think it's not fair. He's such a nice person. I need to start doing my own thing. And they started seeing the value of why they had to do the right things and how it helped them get better results. So they started complying. But in that whole process, I developed a very strong relationship with them. That's point number two. When you are in your first role, develop very strong contacts with your peers, the colleagues, people working around you. Then was going beyond everyday tasks. So in my role, I realized that I wasn't so busy. I had time, but I could have just easily sat behind the laptop or computer all day pretending I was busy when I'm not busy. So I used to sit in a lot of other department meetings. I used to walk up to the management team members of the other departments and ask them, what are your challenges? Can I help you with analyzing some data, analyzing some procedural issues? Can I be part of your challenges that your projects and teams are working on? And most people did not take me seriously, right? I mean, I'm a brown-skinned Australian, just migrated to Australia, don't have the English accent like the way they speak. Even now I'm stumbling. And this is what was very challenging, right? And most of them are much older than me. I was 26, everybody was like 35, 40, 45, very hardcore engineering guys. And they thought, what do you know about elevators? We know it better. But someone took me seriously and they made me part of reducing the issues in a particular business line. So I had to just analyze the whole business cycle, right from sales to when we hand over to service. What are the issues? Going in deeper, analyzing the root causes of those problems, coming up with an action that was agreeable to everyone. A lot of bottom-up approach. Bottom-up approach means getting people's inputs, getting their buy-in. So in this process, not only did I improve the particular problem given to me, but again, I developed very, very strong bonds with people. So this helped again to have a tremendous success. So third thing was always being curious to learn about just what is given to you as a role. Working beyond your job description is something that I often recommend to everyone. So we have learned the business, we have developed close relationship with people. Now we have worked beyond job description as well. The next one was, I used to always attend the management meetings that my boss and the managing director used to run. And I learned how they developed strategy for the whole organization. Now, I was curious that why couldn't I develop a strategy for my own department, which was only 2 people department that I mentioned. So I started developing a balanced scorecard strategic tool as a method to develop strategy for the quality department. Like I spoke about, what is the customer value proposition with quality? What are the process changes we need to bring about in quality? What are the people aspects we need to work on to bring a cultural change in quality? And then finally, what would be the financial outcome? So I started reading books, learning from those lessons I was hearing from the management meetings and strategy meetings. And I developed a strategic roadmap, presented it to my boss and managing director. And they were quite happily surprised and shocked because usually it was only for country level this was done. But I was doing it for a small department and they thought this person is thinking beyond his role. This person is thinking a little bit broader and bigger and strategic. So that was where I was showing that I was ready for the next role. So the lesson I can share from this is think beyond your one level above role. What would one level above role, how would they interact, how would they behave, what were the things they do? That's what I was doing. This gave the confidence that I'm ready for a bigger role. And I also had to finally lead the business excellence framework, which is the quality framework of how to run a company. You can Google this information. There is a framework on how to run an organization. What are the drivers? What are the lead indicators that help to run an organization? This literally teaches how to run a company. I was championing this award process for Schindler Australia, which helped me to learn every part of the business. Again, proactively, I was going to people, asking them questions, finding out what are the things that we are doing in running a business effectively. Presented the roadmap for the award submission. We secured the bronze medal. So once this was completed, my managing director realized that there is this boy from India who is able to get people on his side, who thinks beyond his job description, who is able to develop strong connections with people, who is now able to understand how to run a business and also develops a strategy. So who not than this person to lead one of the big branches for Schindler in Australia. And that's how I became from an executive quality engineer to a general manager, Queensland. in a matter of 2 to 2.5 years. My biggest career growth ever. I've shared a very, very important part of my life with all of you, and I hope that these tips help you secure your biggest jump as well in your career. Thank you so much for listening to me. Stay fit, stay positive, keep chasing obscene success. Thank you.